Hello, dear founder. Have you ever thought about building a startup? Or maybe create some innovative solutions that will simplify your and other people's lives? But you didn't have a proper idea, right? Today I will give you a brief not only about how to find this idea, but also how to make a live startup of your dreams. Right now, you will see. Why do you already have an innovative idea? What is the most important for a startup? Possibilities to find investments properly, and how to build a startup when you are not a technical founder. My name is Nick, I am founder of software development company. Like, subscribe, let's go. Okay, first let's discuss how to find the best startup idea. And there is a tricky moment. Founders usually think my startup should be useful for all people on the earth, otherwise it doesn't cost the effort. I mean, when we're talking about success, we imagine technology for everybody, for example Facebook or Google, and it's the core of the problem. There is a very small chance that one day you will find some innovation that will suit all humanity. And remember, some groups will reject innovations. Even my grandma doesn't use the internet. So your goal is to find a market, not this market. It should be like this. And yes, if your idea can make life easier for even 1% of the population, my congratulations, it's really great. But usually startups wanna solve some minor problems. For example, a few years ago, one of our customers came up with an interesting startup idea. He lived in the private sector, not so far from downtown. Ordering food to this area from city restaurants was very expensive. He recognized that his neighbors were struggling with the same problem. So a simple solution came to his head. Create an app where neighbors can order from the same restaurant together and as a result divide the delivery fee. And of course you understand, there are a lot of private sectors around the world, so the market is huge. When I heard his idea I thought, oh my god, it's so genius, why it doesn't come to my head? The answer is simple, because I don't live in the private sector and I haven't faced this issue. Absolutely the same thing we have with the guy who didn't want to speak with the taxi operator. He created Uber. What I wanna give you with these examples is that you definitely have something in your life that you wanna avoid. Generating work reports or finding a new teammate for playing tennis. And this problem can be unique for some groups of people and doesn't make any sense for others. The question only how large this group is. For example, in my work I should find a new clients. Other software development companies do it via LinkedIn and cold emails, as one of lead gen channels. It's really boring and time-consuming to send invites and copy emails, so we created our own tool that makes it automatic and save a lot of employees' time. Right now we are thinking about configuring it as a SaaS product and making it available for other companies. I didn't know about this problem in B2B marketing before I started lead gen processes by myself, so you got the idea. Your expertise in the industry is your competitor's advantage because knowledge about problematic is unique and based on them you can find a solution that others will accept. Now you definitely understand that the market is the core of any startup. But remember, important not quantity, but quality. What does it mean? If you sell a product to one user for $1,000, your net worth is equal to the startup that sells to 100 users via $10. By the way, that is an amazing possibility to prove is your idea worth something. Sell it to somebody. Make amazing conditions. For example, 50% annual subscription for first users. As a result, you would know without spending additional budget if this solution suits only your needs or there is really demand in the market. And yes, I understand your main concerns. Nick, I am not a tech founder. How I can even know is it possible to create a solution from development side? And what the price might be? Well, there are three possibilities for sort it out. First one is to find some tech guy and cover a few hours of his time. He can discuss with you problematic and based on this find a ways of creating a solution. Generally we call it consultancy. It wouldn't be deep dive, but you will receive approximate possibilities with timelines and prices. By the way, if he likes your idea, you can also become co-founders. In this scenario, you will delegate all development responsibility on his shoulders. The second one is to find an IT outsource company. Also, this company can become your trustable tech vendor in the future and provide services like fractional CTO. Usually on a sales call they will give you a short brief regarding your idea, but it depends on sales expertise. If he's not a tech guy, you would just lose time without finding anything useful. In my company, I am going to intro calls personally, so if you have some innovative ideas, just reach me out through the link below and I will provide 30 minutes advisory for free. Third one, ask our modern friend ChatGPT. The biggest advantage of this approach is that AI can make market research and advise you even better than McKinsey consultants. Furthermore, these days it can create estimates and a roadmap for development. After defining that your innovation is possible to create, you need to understand how you will find new users. Which marketing channels will you use? What is the lifetime value of the user? And finally, amount of marketing budget that you might need. You should have a clear marketing strategy, because it's also part of any startup, possibility to scale and as a result take your piece of the pie. Based on this data, you can forecast your future team structure and create some financial plan plus possible P&L. I told you about all these steps because each of them increases the chances that investors will have a call with you. Can you raise capital without it? Definitely, especially if you have some personal network. But if not, imagine you need to convince some random guy to give you money. And the risk is really huge, because it's not an investment in real estate or stock market. Remember, you already an expert in some specific field, and this is your main benefit. But a good pitch deck and strict numbers will give additional proof for possible investors that you are a guy with whom they should have a deal. That's why in the description below I want to share with you a pitch deck recommended by Sequoia Capital. It's one of the largest VC in United States. For example, they invested in Apple in 1978. So if you don't have an idea of what should be in your pitch deck, it's a wonderful template. And of course, take in mind that it's a minimum. You compete with other founders for investors' money. The more materials you have, the more chances to succeed. The last point I want to discuss with you: where to find possible investors. Firstly, I strongly recommend you use a personal network. Should you do business with your family or friends? Definitely, because they trust you already. But remember, it's a risk. You should explain to them where your responsibility ends. Furthermore, tell honestly that there is a chance of losing all their money for different reasons. Investments in a startup, it's not something old school and safe like bank deposits. You need it to save the relationship with them if you fail. But don't give up. The higher risk, the higher return of investment they will receive. That's why a good shareholders agreement is a must. Of course, before it you need to open an entity. This agreement you will also use with the investors in the future. You should pay your lawyer enough to make it as a great proposal and predict all possible scenarios in this document. If you don't have any possibilities in your network, well, it's time to change it. In this case, you need to understand what is business-to-business cold outreach. Generally, it's very simple. You have a LinkedIn and there you can find people who are playing investors role. You just need to speak with them and pitch your idea. Don't forget, they receive approximately 10 same requests per day, so it will be really difficult to convince them to investigate your proposal. Make it as unique as you can. If you write "please invest in my great startup," you probably would be ignored. Creativity is your best friend on this battlefield. And don't forget to use multi-channel. Nowadays you can easily find possible WhatsApp numbers and emails. Try reaching out to investors via 3-4 different possibilities. Make efforts until they say no to you. One experienced founder told me a good phrase: you pitch your idea to investor, or an investor pitch you a reason why he shouldn't invest in this idea. So yeah, negotiation experience, it's also an amazing skill that might help you. To keep your mindset and motivation okay, I suggest making a goal reach 1000 possible investors. If you don't gain success, it means that something is not okay with your offer. But I believe that after this action you will understand what's wrong and will correct it. Finally, keep in mind, there is a lot of startups that fail. Statistics say it's a big cemetery because only 1 out of 10 startups reach success. But you would never know unless you try. I guess you understand that it's impossible to create something without trying. Each company started from something small. I really hope that you are the next billion lucky guy. It was your trustable Chief Executive Officer. We'll see you.